Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So we've got a little in-betweeny job to do today while I'm waiting for some steel to come for the bigger job. So this is like a clutch fork. I think it's out of a little bulldozer or something, a little tractor or bulldozer, I'm not quite sure. But this bit goes in the middle and then that pushes on your bearing, on your clutch I think. But it looks like it's been repaired before the thread has come out of there. So that collar has been welded into there, but not very well. And then that is what goes through there. That one goes through that side, and then them pegs go into them holes. So then that floats freely, can pivot in there. As you can see, them threads are knackered. And then obviously that's broken out and them threads are knackered as well. So what I'm gonna have to do is make a new one of them and make a new bolt. Now these threads are imperial, obviously with it being old. It measures 1 inch in diameter, and then the thread pitch is 14. So I'm guessing that's 14 threads per inch. So obviously I'm going to have to make them bits on the lathe, but I'm not quite sure whether my lathe does imperial threads. So this is the table, like the table of the different thread pitches and stuff on my lathe. And I know it's in F. There's different gears that you can put in it, or different way arounds to put the gears. I know it's in F already because I've cut metric threads before. And when you look onto this one for the imperial, or the inches, it's still in F, and 14 is there, and that is in AR8Y. So if I put the gears in AR8Y, it should be on the right thread pitch. This is the thread dial that goes on there, but all the numbers have worn off on mine, but I've got a picture saved on my phone of what the numbers should be. So I think I need to change that to a 14 tooth gear, and then when that comes around to the top, I either need to start on number 1 or number 5. So we're going to make it out of a bit of 40mm bar. 40mm will be big enough diameter to get the hex cut out of it as well. So we'll put that in a lathe and machine that down to size. Right, so I've got that machined up. That's the easy bit. So now I need to try and thread that. I put a thread relief in there, put some chamfers on. Right, I think we're ready then. We've got the threading tool in. We're in the right gear. AR8Y, AR8Y. Then we just need to drop that lever in, and that gets round to the bottom there. So I managed to balls that up somehow. I'm not sure how, but I'm going to turn it down to 15/16 and see, try it again, see if it's any better. Right, so I've got them threads cut reasonable now, but usually when I cut threads, every time I've done it before, I've clumped it into gear, got to the end, taken it out of gear, wound it back, and then put it back in again when the number gets round to where it needs to be. For some reason, for this time, it wasn't matching up properly. So what I did for this thread is I just left that in gear, got it to the end, brought the tool out, and then put the whole thing in reverse, and reversed the whole thing while it was still in gear, and then just put it forwards, and then off it went again. And that's matched up properly as that. They're a bit rough because I didn't put any oil or anything on. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start again, because it's too small as that now. I wanted it to be an inch thread and it's not, so I think I'll start again, but yeah, that's a lesson learned. Right, so ready for attempt 2 at threading now. We'll leave it in gear this time. Right, so that's worked out a lot better. We've only got one thread now instead of 2 threads overlapping each other. So that was with leaving it in gear and just reversing the whole lot. I think we're to size. I can't try that on because the threads are too damaged and the other bit is too numb to fit in there. But I've gone down to 23.5. I went down to the tap size for a thread this size is 15/16, which works out at 23.8, so in theory should be right. Oh, I need to drill a hole through the middle of that now because well, not that one, but the other one has a hole all the way through with a little cup on the end, and you drip oil into it and that's what lubricates it. Right, so that's that drilled, so I think we can take that out of the lathe now. Right, so I'm back on with this again now. For you it'll have only been about 2 seconds, but for me it's been 2 weeks, so gotta remember what I was on with. So yeah, I've got that in the dividing head now. I'm going to mill the 6 flats onto it for the head of the bolt. So I've never actually used a dividing head before. This is going to be the first job I've ever used it for. I think I've worked out how to use it. So counted the rotations, and for that to turn once, this turns 40 turns, so it's 40 to 1 reduction. So then I want 6 flats on that, so you'll do 40 divided by 6, which is 6.66. So then 0.66 as a fraction is 2/3. So these all have numbers on how many numbers are in a circle, so I'm going to use 54. So then 54 divided by 3 times by 2 is 36. So that means that I want to turn this handle 6 times plus 36 holes. So I've got that set up on that one there. So when that's in there, so I'll turn that 6 times back to there, and then I'll move that round to that, which should be 36 holes. And I'll mill that off. Then from there, turn that another 6 times, and then from there to there, which is confusing myself here. So yeah, so I'd move that from there to there, which is 36 holes, and then I'd move that round like that, go another 6 turns, and then from there to there, that'll be another 2/3 of a turn. Do another one, another 6 turns from there to there, I think. So I could have a practice on the one that I threaded wrong, but I think I'm going to be brave and just go for it. So I think we're set up with that. It's going to take 3mm cut at a time, but I only need to do 1 cut if it takes 3mm off, and then turn it. Hopefully that'll work out. Right, so that's flats cut. I think that's right. I went round again onto this flat and went over it, and it hasn't cut any more off, so it all seems to match up. Well, it looks right enough to me. It measures 32mm-ish, like what the other one is, so 32mm socket should fit that. So I think I'll put it back in the lathe, and I'll just take a skim off there and round them corners off, and then part it off. And that's that bit done. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cup. It'd look a bit crap if I'd chopped that one off and welded that one on, but it's going to take a bit of doing, making a dish like that. 32mm spanner fits on there. So I think before I chop that off, I'm going to make like the nut that threads onto that. And if I do have to alter this for any reason, I can still grab hold of it. So I'll get some 35mm round bar and then make one of them. Right, so I've got that drilled through, and now I've been through it with a little boring bar, bought it out to the size. Now I have to swap over now onto this threading tool. Could do with some more tool holders, and I don't have to keep swapping tools out of tool holders. But yeah, I'll swap that in and then set the lathe back up for threading. That's longer than I need, that's 50mm. I only need 25mm, but I've drilled it all the way through, and then I don't have to worry about this running into the end. Right, so I've got my threading tool in, got it set back up in 8R, 8Y. So I'll do the same again. I'll leave this in gear and then just drive it in and then reverse it back out again. So I'm not taking it in and out of gear, and hopefully the threads should match up on each cut. Right, so I've got that threaded, and that fits in there nice now. So I'm pleased with that. So what I need to do now is turn that down to 33mm to fit inside the fork. So that's that bit done now, so that'll go in there. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fasten that in there yet. Seems like the hole's not very good. It doesn't want to fit all the way through, so whether I press it in, whether that'll be enough. I don't want to press it in there and squash it and then it'd be too tight on the thread, so yeah, I'm not quite sure about that yet, but I'll finish this bolt off. So when you look at the old one, there's a hole that goes all the way through, so I think I'll put it back in the mill and then just drill a hole through there and then put it in the lathe and machine them edges down maybe and then part it off. So that's that bolt done. It's just a few sharp edges taken off, but I think I'm quite pleased with that. To say it's not the usual type of machining that I do. So for that bit, I probably could have just got a tap and done it with a tap. But I haven't got one on the right side, so I've had to have order one. But I thought it was a good chance for me to have a go at internal threading. So I need to work out how to fasten that in there now. Not sure what it's made out of. I might just, if it's cast steel, then I'll be able to just TIG weld that in. But it looks that size. You can see that's been welded in before as that one. That one's broken out, so I need to do something with that one as well. But I'll have a go with the grinder, see what the sparks look like, see whether it's cast iron or not. It's cast steel is that, so I can TIG weld that in, no problem. So clean it up, I'll put a chamfer on it with a die grinder, and then I can weld it in. So I've given that a chamfer on both sides, so hopefully now I can gently TIG weld that in without ballsing it up and knackering the threads. Right, so I've got that side TIGged round. There's a few impurities in it from like last time when it had been welded up like round there. But I think that'll do on that side to hold it in. Be better than it was before anyway. So I'll turn it over and do the same on the other side. And then we'll have to re-weld this one in as well, because that one's nearly out. So that's them welded in. The TIG welding's nothing fancy, but I don't really get enough practice to be good at it. But yeah, that's that one. Threads into there. That's that one in. So this one, I realise now, I've spoke to the customer, he didn't want that cap putting back on. He said drill and tap the hole and he can put a grease pipe on it. And that feeds grease through that hole into this slot here, and then whatever goes in there gets greased through that. Must be the bearing or whatever, gets clamped in into there. So then that sits in there like that. It's a bit worn is that, but can't really do much with that. So that goes in there like that. That threads in there. Tightens up like that, and that's how it all goes together. So then that can pivot on there, and then that can pivot that way. That's that job done. That's bloody freezing in here today. I've got my body warmer on, and then I've got my coat over the top. You can see my breath. So I hope you enjoyed watching that. Not the most interesting of jobs, but it's nice to use different skill sets for different jobs. I've learnt a fair bit doing it. And I don't claim to be a machinist, I just learn as and when I need to, like using the indexing head and threading imperial threads and stuff like that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.